4 years ago, gentlemen, it happened. There I am on YouTube, minding my own business, when off to the right recommended videos I see him. I knew from this moment that I hated Antonio Centeno. My competition. I now had a nemesis. So there I am, YouTubing, minding my own business, and all of a sudden, guess what happens?
I reached out.
He reached out, and Antonio said, hey, I'm going to California. Tell the story.
You want to come? I reached out to Aaron. He said, sure. Let's
No.
meet up there.
I said, I don't know. I don't go to seminars.
You were excited. You didn't give Show any weakness.
But the deal is, I was watching what he was doing, and it was such a weird time because for so long, I viewed you as my competition. I thought, I need to do better videos. I need to do this. And I was so jealous because you were growing, and you were growing so fast. And it was one of those things when Antonio said, hey, I'm going to VidCon. Why don't you come out and meet me, and we'll get together and do a meetup, right?
That's generally just what I wanted to do.
So I thought to myself, this guy can't be that nice. I knew he had an ulterior motive, but I was like, all right, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to go to VidCon. I had no idea what to expect, and we were going to meet up. We also then were going to put together a bigger event, which talk about how that came about.
We had friends in the area, and we just decided let's meet up at a bar. And I invited Aaron to invite his audience. I invited my audience. We brought Andy Snavely, Barron.
A lot of the men's lifestyle influencers, but here's the true story. So I get to California. He's in California already. Our buddy, or his buddy at the time, Ryan Masters, the Spartan guy, was also with him. And so I'm getting all ready to meet him, and I got so nervous, like I was going on a first date, right? So I walk into the hotel, and all of a sudden I see him, and it was the first time I was like starstruck by like a YouTuber. I'm like, oh my God, he looks exactly like he does on video.
What did you expect, Aaron?
I don't know. I expected him to be like shorter or something. But anyway.
Well, speaking of short, we have to mention Brock was there as well.
Brock, the modest man, was also in the house. So we meet up and we start hanging out. And it was like this weird connection right away. It's like all of a sudden, and for me, being an entrepreneur, it's hard because I was used to really keeping I thought of competition as like the enemy. Stay away, don't embrace them, you've got to try and crush them. All right, why did you have a different perception of this? Because it was totally foreign to me.
Keep your friends close, your enemies closer. But
that's not it, though. But talk about
it. Really comes down to when it comes down to competition. I mean, we're not the same. We realize we're not competing for the same person. That actually, if we come together, we can grow this market. I saw the stats. I have a classic business background, and for me, it just made sense to surround myself and all of us together. We just formed greater than individually. The whole was more powerful.
And that was something that was missing for me and my business. I didn't have people, being an entrepreneur, I didn't have people to bounce ideas off of or to commiserate or to talk about all the shitty comments that I would get down in the because you don't have anybody to go to unless you're but when I met Antonio, when I met Ryan, when I met some of these more specifically him, because all these other guys, the bloggers and stuff, they don't get what we get. They don't have the passion as terms of the fans and the viewers, but they also don't have the hate like we get on YouTube. And so
I agree. It's a lonely path. And to surround yourself with guys that get it, it's the same in any industry. But in our industry, we're scattered across the world. And to be able to bring them together and for us to just hang out and actually have real friendships. I go to places with my wife, and Aaron, you said the same thing.
Yeah.
We just don't necessarily connect with these guys and their experiences. Nothing bad. They're great people.
True story. So I go to parties, right? I've got a lot of friends, and it's like, suburbia. It's, and I go to these parties, and it's with people, and the men, all of a sudden, of course, what do you ask guys that when you meet them?
Well, in my area, we talk about Green Bay Packers, hunting, and since I don't really support either of those, actually, I like hunting, but when it comes down to it, I'm just not going out.
Don't say that on video. Yeah. But you don't go out and talk. You you didn't have that connection. And for me, I go and I don't want to talk about, it's talking about the same things. And
I
entrepreneur.
want to talk about YouTube.
Oh, exactly. I want to talk about how to grow our audience. I want to talk
Yeah.
about cool things that
When
we're
you
doing.
dive into Social Blade, it's not geeking out. For me, this is interesting. I'm like, oh yeah, this is great. The stats, the numbers.
And so when he reached out and we got together in Anaheim and did this meetup, it was like my world changed. And you have been the single biggest impactful person that I have met. And no, seriously, in the past 4 years since I've been doing this,
Stop it.
everything has gotten now we're like an old married couple, but no, we just got done StyleCon, and everything in my life and my business has scaled since coming together, and you actually reaching across the competitive aisle and saying, hey, let's do something together, as opposed to staying apart and separate. So
Yeah. Well,
thank you so.
Aaron, I have to say, this guy has inspired me, and it's a win-win relationship when you find someone that you can connect with. I mean, yeah, we have a little bit of friendly competition, I think, on things, but I admire what you've done and what he's built, and when I can share a victory with him, even if it's a relatively small one, you're just pushing me together. You're always saying you can do better, Antonio. Adjust this.
And it's about supporting each other. And that's the thing that I think I wanted this video just to show you guys, that a lot of times we view competition as bad. And in reality, if you can embrace competition, come together, find common grounds, and sort of work together, you can raise both of yourself. What is it? A rising tide? What is it?
It's I don't know, right? The
Rising
rising tide
oh.
raises all ships, or something like
Exactly.
that.
See, he helps finish my sentences. But anyway, guys, we got done StyleCon 2016. How was it?
It was life-changing. I mean, those aren't my words. Everyone was coming up. I mean, from the vendors, from the men that attended from around the world, from 16-year-old, 17-year-old
Yeah.
Austin now, to all of these. I mean, we know these people by names. They're our friends. And to see them come and transform their lives, to take that information and act on it. The speakers, who are content creators themselves, came and said that they've never been to an event like this. It has just gotten better. And we are already planning.
I only cried how many times?
Like 3 times.
Only three times when I talked. I get super emotional.
At
though.
some point, I think I will cry. But at some point.
If you guys missed the video, StyleCon recap that Christian put together, it is ridiculous. It's listed and linked down in the description. But since I had the opportunity and he was here, I thought there was no better time to come into the studio. What do you think? What do you think of the...
I love the studio. Yeah.
It works, right?
It's a little cramped, but it works.
It's only cramped as you're in here.
Yeah.
Damn competition. Get out of here. Gentlemen, I'll see you tomorrow.